This is Sierra doing my roleplay for 3005 site, and her student number is.
S504947.
Before we start, I just wanted to get your consent to film this.
Yeah, of course.
So, what's brought you here today?
So recently I've had a lot of problems with my housemate. She isn't around much, which is kind of like a good and a bad thing, because mainly if something pops up, I feel like I can't talk to her about it immediately because she's not here. And then all these little things pop up, and when she does finally get here, I'm like, here's all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously she feels really like, whoa, like attacked or whatever. So I'm like, how do I approach these things? I don't want to do it like by text and stuff. But then I don't really know like how to approach problems with her.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know how she's going to react.
So you're feeling really like all this stuff is penting up inside, and then when she finally does come, you're just too scared to let it out because you're afraid of her feelings.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
Well, I guess it's really like stressful. Mainly
Yeah.
it's really stressful because I'm always overthinking it. And I'm like, what can I say? What can I do to make this better? Like, should I buy cookies so that when she comes she feels a little better, that I'm like, hey, here's all the things you've been doing wrong.
Yeah. So you're really focused on trying to make it seem like it's not as bad for her. You're more focused on her feelings rather than how you're feeling yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, mainly. I mean, I obviously, like, I don't have, like, an issue with a good confrontation, but it's really just her, I guess.
Just her?
Because, I don't know, like, everyone I feel really comfortable, I know their reaction that they're going to be when I tell them something, but I feel like she's really unpredictable, because, like, she could be really, like, pleasant and nice about it and go, okay, whatever, or she could turn around and be, like, quite, not necessarily rude or bitchy, but she, like, slips little comments in there.
Yeah.
And then you sort of want to bite back, but, like, you don't want to get into a fight with her, but I feel like she's kind of leading to it, and then that, like, puts me in an awkward place, because I'm like, well, this is totally unfair, like, you don't get it. And then you just want to, like, argue and be like, listen to me or whatever. But,
So you're finding it really hard to kind of have a balanced connection with her because your personalities clash a bit?
yeah,
Right?
I'd say that. Like, she's very timid. She's very, like, quiet and sensitive and stuff. But I've realized recently, just with, like, talking to her about things, that she's not, like, the kind of person that will be like, hey, I have this problem with you. Like, she'll be like, it sounds really weird and petty, but, like, she'll make, like, a comment in, like, an Instagram post, or, like, she'll say something to somebody, and you're like, that was directed at me. Like, there's nothing else it could be directed at. And then, when she comes here, it's like, well, we have beef, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, we're living in the same house. It makes me uncomfortable. I feel like she's angry because I have to be the bad guy and tell her.
Yeah. So you're feeling really uncomfortable and kind of like the situation's not fair because you have to be the one to tell her this and how you're feeling. She doesn't want to listen or know about it. Is that it?
Yeah, sort of. Like, I feel like she does listen, but she hears it, but in her head she's like, well, it's not my problem, kind of thing. So, because, like, we were getting concerned with her not being around because we had cat.
Yeah.
It was her cat. We had cat, and she was never around, and I was like, and it was coming up to the inspection day, and I was like, okay, we put the cat in the pet motel, like, I can't get her there because I have my stats tutorial on at this time. Chris had uni, Ben was working. I was like, you need to take the cat. Nobody else can do it. And she was like, well, no, I won't, because I'm in Byron and I don't want to do the trip up here to get the cat in. And I was like, yeah, but it's a responsibility, like, we're all trying to, like, juggle here. Why should we have to miss out on uni just because you don't? I was like, because she was here on the Monday, the cat had to be on the Thursday, and she was going to go home. And I was like, why don't you just stay? Like, it was just, she was like, no, I had to go home. It was like one of those things where you're like, this could be so simple if you just compromised a little bit.
Yeah, so you're feeling really frustrated because she's not cooperating with you guys and you feel like you're having to take on all of her responsibilities?
Yeah, pretty much. Because, like, when we got the cat, I was like, cool, it's a freeway deal. Chris was like, I don't want anything to do with it, but I'll feed it if no one's here or whatever. And I was like, fair enough, that's fine, I agree. And we were all like, yeah, we're going to do that. That was, like, the verbal contract.
Yeah.
And then she was not here for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we didn't see her for 4 months, and Ben and I, like, we're paying for everything, we're doing everything. And then when we had the conversation about her coming to put the cat in the kennel, I was like, I brought that up. I was like, look, you know, you weren't here for 4 months.
Yeah.
And then she was like, she literally just turned around and she was like, yeah, but it's not just our responsibility. And I was like, yeah, but it's not just ours.
Yeah.
And then she was kind of like, it's not all my responsibility. You're making out like I don't do anything or whatever. And like, you just want to be like, well, you don't.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go down that road because then you just fight.
Yeah, so it seems like there's a lack of communication, and then when there is communication, it's just a big argument kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's only her that you have this with, like the lack of communication with, or is it with certain other people in your life as well?
I guess most directly it's with her.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I do have, like, it's not the first time I've had issues like trying to communicate with people that don't want to budge. Like, my mum is very similar, so I don't live with them anymore, so obviously there's not a lot to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, I don't worry as much because I'm like, well, I don't have to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to. But like, obviously, you know, family things come up and events happen, and it's like, sorry. Oh, gosh. And it's like, she's one of those people that like to stir the pot. Like, she'll just say something because she'll get a reaction. Yeah. And she really doesn't like that. And so whenever she's trying to get a reaction, it'll always be something about him.
Okay.
And it, like, puts me in an awkward position because I want to, like, fight back. But I'm like, there's family around. I don't want to argue.
Yeah. So you're in such an awkward place because you want to communicate how you're feeling, but you just don't like starting things with people.
Yeah. I mean, I feel, because I suppose, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I feel like I could just have that one argument and get it over and done with. But then at the same time, like, I don't want this to turn into, like, monthly long arguing or whatever. Because I'm like, that doesn't help anybody. So I'm kind of, like, afraid to initiate that conversation that I know has to happen eventually.
So you're feeling really afraid to kind of say what you really want to because you're afraid of such a long argument and how they'll react, so you keep things pented inside of yourself to not hurt anyone else's feelings.
Yeah. Because I know that, like, you have to be in proximity with them.
Yeah. So
some things I feel are, like, more worthwhile to sort of mull over rather than to do anything about. But at the same time, like, that's really unhealthy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I just sort of, it's just trying to make that step, trying to get from, like, this position to the next one where I approach it and I'd be like, here's the issue, let's deal with it. Like, just trying to get that, like, confidence is, like, a real struggle.
Okay, so with your confidence, is it just when you're talking to other people and with these kind of arguments that you feel you lack confidence, or is it in other places in your life as well?
It's really just, like, this sort of thing.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like I'm okay with confrontation if I know that I'm going to come out on top because someone's arguing with me or they're coming at me for something that I haven't done or they're just like, I know they're wrong for whatever reason. Like, you know how, like, someone's, like, really obviously wrong and you're like, you need to listen or whatever. But when things come up that, like, kind of directly impact, like, my lifestyle, like Chelsea or my mum or whatever, and it's sort of like I'd rather just sort of keep it quiet.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like when you don't tell someone, like, you lie to somebody because you know that telling them is going to make them feel worse.
Yeah.
But, like, you also know that when it does come out, it's going to be worse than if you told them now.
Yeah. So you're just really afraid of telling people how you feel because you're afraid that they're going to fight back and it's just going to be a long thing. So you're keeping in how you're feeling to protect other people's feelings. And it seems to be a constant repetition that happens.
Yeah. It's kind of like a bad cycle.
Yeah.
Basically. So it is that, like, you are afraid to tell them because you know that they're going to blow up. It's one of those things that you just know is going to happen. Like, I know you can't know it, but you just sort of have that intuitive, like, oh, it's going to happen. And then, I guess it would be beneficial. Like, I just, like, I have this big, like, weird, like, paranoia that, like, my living space is going to become, like, unbearable because I might upset Chelsea or she turns around and says I don't want to live here anymore, and then we're all sort of like, oh my god, like, we can't afford this place or we need to move or something. So I guess it's like taking it to the worst case scenario.
So you're really afraid of it affecting like a whole big part of your life rather than just this minimal thing that it really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I just like internally worsen it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not going to be just a conversation with Chelsea. It's going to be her moving out and us having to pay more rent.
Yeah.
You know?
So you're making it in your mind. You think of the worst possible case scenario, and that's what's kind of keeping you from bringing out what you actually feel.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
pretty much like exactly it, I guess, because like it's a real, like it's so real,
Yeah.
you know, like for you it is so real, it's gonna happen, and I guess it's sort of a delusion at that point because like no one, it doesn't matter what anyone else tells you, you're kind of like, no, it is gonna happen that way.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I know it's gonna happen that way. And then it just like you just get stuck, you just like stagnate because you don't tell anyone like these issues.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as soon as like a tiny, like it's like an unrelated thing gets brought up, like an unrelated drama or something, and then things sort of get heated, and then you just like bring up all of this stuff, and then the other person's like, what the hell, like where did this come from? And it's like, I've been holding on this forever, like, you know, don't come at me when you've been doing all of these things. And it's like, oh.
So you're just really afraid of hurting other people and affecting your life. So you're holding everything in until just you can't hold it anymore. It all just comes out in a big burst, and you're afraid that the other person is just gonna be like they don't understand because it's been so much and they feel so attacked. It's like such a big amount.
Yeah, it's definitely like an unhealthy like way of dealing with it, and it's an unhealthy way of like bringing it up. But I suppose you sort of get the idea that like, oh, we're fighting now anyway, so we may as well just keep going, or I may as well just make it worse. Like, how much worse can it get?
Yeah.
You know, it's like just get it out on the table. If we're gonna fight, we're gonna do it right, sort of thing. I mean, it's unreasonable. I know it's unreasonable. So I guess that's what's really like frustrating. Because like you get frustrated with yourself because you're like, don't, like, you're being stupid. Like, it's not gonna do that. And then, like, I talk to Ben about it a lot, and I'm like, you know, here's this problem, Chelsea, whatever. And he'll be like, just talk to her about it. And I'll be like, I'm always the one that talks to her about these things. I'm like, you guys live here too.
So you're wanting someone else to talk to her rather than you have to be the one that always brings everything up and feel like it's going to affect you more than it will affect anyone else, even though it's affecting everyone else?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like if I have to bring up all the things with her, then everyone else in the house kind of gets a free ride.
Yeah, and it's just affecting you.
Yeah, because then Chelsea comes home and she's like, well, you know, I have beef with you because you have beef with me, and Chris and Ben are fine because they didn't say anything. And I'm like, we've all, and that's why, like, whenever I bring up things, I'm like, we've all talked about it, but it's like, I don't think it's quite as effective saying that than having
everyone talk about it.
Yeah, but then on the flip side of that, it's like you don't want her to feel like all three of us are coming for her at once. Because then she's really going to feel attacked.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you mediate that? Like, just, like, it's so, like, you juggle with it for so long, and you're like, man, I should do it this way, I should do it that way, and then it gets to a point where the problem's too old and you don't do anything about it.
Yes. How have you tried to bring it up with the rest of the house?
Usually, like, we'll just, like, be sitting around, like, talking or whatever, and then something will happen. Like, we'll be like, oh, we need to buy this household item or whatever.
Yeah.
And then someone will be like, well, I mean, Chelsea uses it, or, like, we'll have an inspection coming up, and Chelsea will be like, sorry, I won't be there to help clean. We'll be like, are you serious? Like, this is your house too, you have to help. Or whatever. And then, like, someone will just say something, and then somebody else, and it just sort of, like, becomes, like, this whole, like, thing where we're all like, yes, this thing, and this thing, and this thing, and this thing. And we're all like, okay, we all are, like, feeling the same way. And we're all, like, you know, getting it. And then, be like, well, we need to talk to her about it. And then she'll come, and then no one will say anything.
So you all feel the exact same way. You all talk about it when she's not around, but when she does come around, it's only you that says something, and everyone else just stays quiet in the background.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want you guys to, like, be assertive or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's ironic because I'm like, I don't want to be the one that has to fight with this person, but for some reason I'm always the one being, like, saying things. And then it kind of, like, demonizes me, and then I get paranoid because I'm like, man, everyone's going to think I'm so horrible.
Yeah.
Because I'm always complaining.
So you just feel like everyone's thinking it's only you because you're the only one that ever says anything.
Yeah. So I feel like Chelsea definitely thinks that it's just a me thing.
Okay. Does the rest of your roommates know how you feel about when you bring up this particular topic to the girl?
Yeah. So I guess I mean, I don't know if they know exactly, like, the extent of it, but I've definitely, like, alluded to it and being like, you know, it makes me feel awkward. Like, I don't want to, like, hate, like, especially when it comes to, like, rent or something, I hate talking about the money thing.
Yeah.
It really stresses me out. Like, I really hate it. Like, I know that, like, no one else probably cares. But, like, as soon as I look on there, I'm like, gotta talk about a money thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god, like, I just feel so rude and so inappropriate and stuff, and it's weird. But, like, if somebody else just sat there and was like, hey, Chelsea, we need to talk about the dish soap or whatever it is, I'd be like, cool. And I'll just sit there quietly and I'll let them talk. But then, like, at the same time, I'm, like, super controlling about it, I guess, because I'm like, make sure you say it this way so that it comes across correctly or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just like balance between like, well, it's not even a balance. It's kind of like an imbalance because I'm like, somebody else do it, but I'm like, no, I want to do it. I want to do it this way,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't get done.
So you really want to express how you feel and exactly how it's affecting the rest of the household, but you're just so afraid of it impacting your life and having a greater impact than it needs to have.
Yeah.
So you're just really holding it in so it doesn't affect you.
I think it's been 15 minutes.
Okay. Let's check. Oh, it's